This is a man of many lives and many callings. From growing up in Harlem and the Bronx to serving over 2 decades in New York City Corrections, chasing music dreams and landing acting roles alongside Kenya Moore and other amazing entertainers, he's now the founder of a socially conscious fashion brand called Matthew Ethan. And he's creating a legacy rooted in purpose and power. Milton Saul is proof that it's never too late to dream differently, start over, and walk boldly into what's next. This is a conversation about identity, resilience, and what it really means to claim your Welcome, Milton Saul, to the podcast. Hi, Milton. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. I want everybody to know, though, that Milton is one of the nicest people you will ever meet. I just have to say that. And I have to say that, Milton, because us New Yorkers, we have a reputation of not being nice. You know what I mean? So I just want people
Mhm.
to know how sweet you really are.
Appreciate that.
You know, yes, of course. So, Milton, I just want to start with your backstory. I love to hear how people were growing up, like where you grew up, how that was for you, and also really your transition into law enforcement. Like, how did you start that? Like, how did you decide that's what you wanted to do?
Okay. As you said, I'm a New Yorker. I was born in Harlem,
Hmm.
raised in the Bronx and Eden War projects until my adult life. I grew up with a lot of challenges in those days, but God is great. And as I got older,
Hmm.
I took on different forms of employment. I did my bad things in the world too, but I transitioned, took on different things, different employment. And there was a opportunity to get into civil service work. In my early, I would say around, I was like 18, 19, I did some work at the post office out in Queens, which is Woodside. And then later on, I took the exam for New York City Correction Officer, passed, and I joined the department. And I remained there for over 22 plus years. And I got myself to the rank of captain, and I had a great career.
Mm. But that's good. So you're retired now. So what made you decide that you wanted to leave that?
I had did my time. I always had a different vision for myself in life. Always had different aspirations, different dreams.
Mhm.
Actually, prior to the whole law enforcement, I was doing my stuff with the music. I was doing some
Mhm.
things with a little acting here and there. But because of the job, the long hours, the different days of working, I didn't really
Mhm.
follow through with it. Time went on. I put my time in with the city. I decided it was time to go and fulfill my own dreams, what I wanted to do.
Okay, okay. Yeah, because I was going to ask you, did you start like the acting and stuff like that after you retired or while you were still in law enforcement? And you also have a fashion
It really
brand, right? Now, I don't want to. Okay,
was
go
have
ahead.
a fashion
Mhm.
brand. But the acting
Yeah,
really
yeah.
um, took its, I would say, move forward once I retired. I was able to have more
Okay.
opportunities, more time to hone my craft. I actually got my first break. My first really big break was with Kenya Moore. She was doing a pilot for Life Dwells On, and she had an audition.
Oh,
I
okay.
came out, and she selected me the pastor
Mhm.
for her series, Life Dwells On. I think there was I don't know what really happened with that,
Mhm.
to be honest. But she did air it. I think
Mhm.
it was like on the Facebook thing, something with Bravo. But that was the beginning. And then from there, different opportunities started to come.
Okay. All you need is one breakthrough, right?
I just need
You
one.
know what I mean?
Sometimes it takes the one.
Mhm. It takes the one. Yeah. Yeah. So the fashion brand. See, Milton, you got a lot going on. Okay, so the fashion brand. Now tell us the name of that because I don't want to mess it up.
Okay, the fashion brand is called Matthew Ethan, I am me.
Okay.
And it's spelled
Mhm.
Mattieu. Ethan, Ethan.
Okay.
And and the cornerstone of the brand is I am me. And the mission statement behind the brand is you, knowing who you are, being who you are. And the brand, it supports various social issues, various social causes. It's named after my
Yeah.
son, Matthew. He was born premature. So in the logo,
Mm-hmm.
you see the initials ME, which stands for the I am me. But there's a footprint
Mm-hmm.
that signifies his existence, but it also signifies
Mm-hmm.
your existence, who you are, you
Mm-hmm.
as a person, your footstep in life that others can follow. So the brand has used its mission and its clothing to support various causes from autism, domestic violence, at risk youth, premature births, and so many others.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love the brand story. I love the brand story, and I want everybody to pay attention to that because when you are venturing into anything with being an entrepreneur, you need a brand story. You need to have that foundation. So I love how you tied that back to your son. That's just amazing. That really is amazing.
Thank
So,
you. And one of the things that
Milton.
you can, one thing I realized, everybody wear clothes in some fashion or some form.
Mm,
But
yes,
one thing about we can say is
yes.
when someone says to you, "What are you wearing?" You can really say, "I'm wearing me. I am me."
It makes a lot of sense. It
Right?
really does. It really does. Yeah, it really does. I know back when I was about 21, I was living in the Bronx and I wanted to go into fashion. And I was looking at going to Parsons, that design school there in New York City. And I looked at the curriculum and I was just like, I don't think I can do this. It was so much. But now, fast forward, I think you grow up and you realize that things aren't always going to be easy. And now we have access to a lot more resources where we don't actually have to go to
Mhm.
school, but we can still learn some things as far as getting into the industry and stuff like that. So, what tips would you give somebody who wants to actually go ahead and start their own fashion brand?
My tip, I would say, one, believe that you can do it and take action.
Mhm.
Learn what you can learn
Yep.
as much as you can learn from, especially from people that know what they're doing. Surround
Hmm.
yourself with those individuals because once you see it and you learn the process, it becomes a lot more easier. Because in the fashion
Yeah.
world, it can be challenging and complicated from sourcing materials to getting good seamstress to designers. It takes a lot to really get it
Yeah.
moving the way you want to. And there's trials and errors. But the
Oh,
number
yeah.
one thing is just to, if you feel it in your soul, you want to do it, just do it. Because
Hmm.
once you do it, then you would know how far you can go with it, at least by trying. If you never tried, you would never know how far
Exactly.
you got.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
never late.
And
It's
then
never
something
too
I
late.
always
You can still
right,
get into it now.
exactly.
You can
Yes. Yeah, so something I always say is that you don't have to see the whole staircase. Just take the next step, and you'll see what happens after that. So, oh, but
a
I
lot
thank you
really
for
a
that
lot of people.
encouragement. Yeah.
Yeah, no, a lot of people they get, I would say, a little nervous. Like what I
Hmm.
do, how expensive. Now with today's, we have a lot more resources now. You have the internet, so you can easily reach suppliers and you can source things a little bit more easier. But it's a
Hmm.
matter of when you have the information, you can tap into it. How do you apply it? How do you use it?
Right.
And
Right.
just, I tell anybody, whatever it is you want to do, just go for it and
Yeah.
keep it in prayer and see what happens. You never know.
Right. We only live once. Come on.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Now you also have a lot going on with this acting. I'm looking at all your stuff. I'm like, look at Milton. Yeah. So Milton, do you feel that some of the roles that you play, like you've taken some of your skills and training in law enforcement and kind of incorporated it into some of those roles?
Absolutely. I've been on set, especially starting out, and sometimes there could be a scene that involves, say, handling firearms. And in most sets, they do have professionals there that consider prop masters that can show people how to use the firearms and stuff like that. But there were times when
Mhm.
I seen other actors or people get into the acting world, they call them background actors, playing with, even though it's a prop gun, they playing with it or
Mhm.
not handling it properly. So I would tell them, say, listen, even though it's a prop gun, always treat it like it's real because it becomes part of your
Mhm.
habit. So if you ever have a real firearm, you don't want to fall into the habit of playing with it. You want to always take the
Mhm.
precaution of treating it like it's real. And so I've
Mhm.
used my experience when I'm on set as far as with firearms, with protocol. I've had directors ask me questions pertaining to what would be the, say it's like a jail movie. What would be the proper way to really escort a prisoner down a corridor? And I would tell them my
Mhm.
experience working in corrections, how we would do it, what the right protocol would be. And it's very helpful. And I've used it and
Makes
I was
sense.
able to get other roles in doing law enforcement roles, security roles in movies.
Okay. So what was your favorite role? Or is that what your favorite role was? Or do you have other
Mm,
roles that you played that you figured is a favorite?
wow. They all my favorite. Every
Yeah,
opportunity is like a favorite. Yeah, they're all my favorite. I see every one as a blessing. But
okay.
I enjoyed working. Each role has been look a little different. Like I've done roles playing a cop, roles playing security, roles as a merchant tribesman in Black Panther, a role as a realtor, and different. So each role has its own unique, I would say, feel to it and experience. But what I do is I apply my personal life, things I can relate to, into the role, and that's what
Okay.
brings it to the reality of being real.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a whole lot of sense. Getting feedback. So, how old is too old to start acting?
There's no age.
Okay. Okay.
There's no age to start, and there's no age to end. There's if movies would have babies and they actually are booking babies starting out and then little children. And then you see films where there's an elderly couple, someone that's like a great grandfather in the film. So there's really no age from what I was told. There's always a role that fits you for what they're looking
Mm.
for. You just have to be ready to apply yourself when it comes. I know there's a lot of misconception. Oh, the actor is really for very young people, and that could have
Yeah.
some truth, but there's always roles for different age categories of people.
Yeah. You're absolutely right, because I think Samuel L. Jackson started older, when he was older, and I
He,
think Marla Gibbs too, she started when she was in her 40s. So, yeah, yeah.
he did. So did Morgan Freeman. Morgan
Oh,
Freeman. He
yeah,
started
okay,
late in his
right.
career.
That's right.
There's some actors
Yeah,
that started very early, and there's those that start a little later in life. But it's once you get the opportunities, it's how far you want to go with it, how much you want to apply yourself, and if the opportunity
right.
comes, are you ready? That's the whole thing. You gotta be ready because that knock can come.
Yeah. So if people were to want to get into acting, is the first thing to find an agent, or is it something else that they should do first?
I think if they first trying to get into acting is to learn much as about as they can, get as much experience as they can get, and then work on getting
Yeah.
credits. And once you
Okay.
have your credits, reels, then you can package together and present yourself to agents because agents want to see what you've done. You got it's like a presentation,
Mm,
like a job interview.
yeah.
What do you have that would make them take you on as their client? So you walk in with
Right.
nothing, you go, hey, I'm an actor. I have no experience. I have no reels. I have no credits. I have nothing. But take me on to client. Chances are you won't. So my
Mm,
suggestion is get as much acting experience you can get. Short films, do films for like
mm.
student films, anything that can help you build up your craft, get exposure, build relationships, and then you can package those clips, those things into a nice reel. And then you can go to
Right.
and apply for agencies to say, hey,
Mhm.
this is what I've done. I'm looking for an agent that can best represent me. And they'll look at it. And if it's something that can fit their roster, they'll take you. You may not get picked the first go round, you may, but you can't be discouraged.
Mhm.
The entertainment business is one of those things where you got to stomach the no's. You're going to get a lot of no's and yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So tell us about some of the projects you have coming.
Okay. Some of the projects I just finished working on, actually, that will be
Mm,
hopefully come out
okay.
in 2025. I finished
Mhm.
up a movie called Caroline, Caroline. I'm sorry, it's Carolina, Caroline. There was another one called That They Become One. That's more of a faith-based film. I really enjoyed working that. There's a have another one that's coming out, Stuttering Preacher. That's actually been directed and produced by Javon Johnson. That should be released sometime in 2025. And
Mhm.
there's see Caroline, and Control Freak. That should be released on Hulu this coming year.
Okay.
And I'm
Okay.
about to be back
Cool.
at work this month for
Mhm.
another series called About Him. So we be getting back to working on that this end of this month.
Okay. So you got some stuff coming. We got to watch out for you, Milton.
We try. I try to stay busy. I try to stay busy as much as I can.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's really good advice what you gave about getting into acting because I think just like anything else, we need to be in the trenches first. It just makes sense. Whether you want to be a model or whatever, it's like you got to be in the trenches first, and you got to have something to present to someone and say, "Hey, represent me."
Because
Hmm.
entertainment is
Yeah.
it's a different world,
Mm.
and the competition is there. But I have to place in my mind that if I'm going for an audition, director wants to see me, and his eyes is only on me. I can't worry about like the other people that might be at the auditions or submitting their self tapes. I just focus on what I have to do, and I give him my best
Hmm.
work. If he likes it or she likes it, and that fits the part, the role which they're looking to cast, then I'm blessed. I got it. If I don't get it,
Yeah.
I don't give up. It's okay. I go on to the next one. In this business, you have to keep going. Same thing like I
Hmm.
guess with music industry. You put out a song, because maybe this first song didn't do well, you don't stop singing or whatever you do, you keep doing it because somewhere someone loves your music. Somewhere someone listening to your music.
That's true. That is so true. I want to ask you about that too. What were you doing in the music industry before all this other stuff?
Trying to be a rapper starting out when I was young in my teenage years. I had the little
Yeah.
drum machine, the 1200
Oh.
turntables, doing the beats.
Mhm.
Me and my friends, we would get together and we it was fun to do. At the time I was doing it, it wasn't really about so much of how the industry is now. It was like really just fun. Just want to just get
Yeah.
something on the radio, just know, just to hear it. And but it was that really probably wasn't my true calling. Even though I had fun
Mhm.
trying to get into that, the acting
Mhm.
was my calling. Fashion was my calling.
Mm.
Corrections was my calling. Whatever I completed was
Mhm.
my calling. And what I'm doing now is my
Mhm.
calling.
Yeah. Yeah. That's important to look at because I think sometimes we do things and we're really meant to go in a different direction or on a different path. And sometimes we resist that path if what you're doing over here doesn't feel like you should be there, then yeah, there's something else for you. Like you said, whatever you completed, that's where your calling is. So that's a
Yeah.
lot. That's
And
good.
that's how I look at
That's
it.
a good word.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a
And
good
that's how I
word.
look at it. No, doesn't
Yeah.
mean you can never go back to something, but I think something that you've completed, it was meant for you to complete. And
Yeah.
now that you have that done, you can go on to the next thing. Because there's different levels in our lives. So we just keep growing, we grow. It's just like in acting, you have a lot of people that start as actors and they become directors. And they love staying
Mm-hmm.
behind the camera more than acting. And then you have
Yeah.
people that never act and only wanted to do was direct. It's just a matter of where you at in your life and which was really grabbing you to what you want to do.
Yeah. I think we all
Like
need to
you
just
with the
pay
fashion.
attention to that pull.
Like you
Mm-hmm.
with the fashion. At some point in time, I think you're going to get into it and start doing your fashion.
I'm claiming it. I received that.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm claiming it with you. I'm claiming it with you.
Yep. I received it. I'm serious. Oh goodness. Yes, this is so good. I love the words that you are giving us. I'm telling you, I'm eating them up, Milton. I really am. Yeah, because dreams only
That-
come true when you take action and get to work. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like when you ask anybody, and regardless of what job or profession, I guess become successful in their career or their business ventures, you ask them, they always say, I never stopped. I kept going. I didn't want to
Yeah.
give up. And
Yeah.
sometimes you feel like, man, forget this, man. I ain't doing this no more. And that is where the challenge come in at. That is the test. That is the ultimate test to make you say,
Yes.
I'm not doing it no more. Especially if you know it's something that you
Mhm.
want to do. If it's
Right.
something you know you want to do and you decide to go, I'm not doing it no more, that's because you're just feeling down. Sometimes you need a little
Mm.
inspiration, need somebody there to go, come on, get up, get up. It ain't over. This fight
Yeah.
ain't over yet. Yeah, just keep going. Yeah.
Yeah. We all need a support system. That's a fact. That's a fact. Yeah. So Milton, who would you love to work with? Who is your dream person to work with?
A dream person to work with. I would say Angela Bassett and Halle Berry. I would love to work with.
Okay. Good.
And Keith David.
Legends.
I would love a chance
Mhm.
with Keith David. Yes, Keith David.
Nice.
If I had a chance, yes.
Okay. All right. We looking forward to seeing it happen. I know that's right.
Hey, I'm like you.
For
I'm
real.
claiming it. I'm claiming that.
Yes.
I'm claiming it. And I'm gonna say it. Look, Halle Berry, Angela Bassett, Keith David. If you are watching this program, just know I want to work with you, and I'm claiming that.
Yes. I love that. Oh, this has been so much fun talking to you. I thank you so much for having this conversation. You dropped so many great nuggets for us to just soak up like a sponge. So, my hat goes off to you and all that you're doing. Keep doing it. I know you're not going to stop. Just keep being amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to thank you for having me on your show, on your platform, to give me a
Mhm.
chance to tell people out there that are not familiar with my brand or what I'm doing that I'm here and I'm accessible. So I want to work with you. You want to work with me, and that's how I see. That's how I move in
Yeah.
life. And but
Mhm.
if there's any shows they want to catch me on, there's a
Mhm.
couple of things on.
Okay.
Dying for a Bid is currently on Amazon. You can catch me in that. And a cameo appearance in Jackpot, which is on Amazon. Prison of Love, which is on Tubi TV. That's actually based on a true story. This correction officer helped this guy
Okay.
escape prison. So that's based on a true
Mhm.
story. So I just want to put those things out there. Just sitting around, nothing to do, nothing to watch. Put those on. Catch a great movie.
Right. And where can we find it? Right? Where can we find the fashion brand?
The fashion brand you can find at the website is matthewethan.com. That's MATTIEUETHAN. You can find us on Twitter at MatthewEthan _. Also Matthew Ethan, I am me. They both is on IG.
Mhm.
You can find us on Facebook, Matthew Ethan Clothing.
Okay. And we can find you just by your
You
name,
can
right?
find
You're on all the platforms. Okay.
I'm on all
Mhm.
platforms, and on IG I'm under Cool Milk, KOOLMILT on IG,
Okay.
and on
All
Facebook
right.
it's Milton Saul. Then you got official Milton Saul, and then on Twitter you have Milton Saul 1, and I'm also on TikTok, Actor Milton Saul.
Okay. So yeah, you're everywhere. We can find you
I
everywhere.
try.
Yes.
They can find me.
Yes.
They can find
All
me.
right. Wilson. Yeah, we're gonna find you. Thank you so much again. I appreciate you so much, Milton.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.